Hello and welcome. I'm Martha from lovelightvoice.com, and I really felt called to show up today and give you a message, or really more of a story. But for some of you, it may be a message. Um, just about an experience that I had recently, and it was so vivid and interesting that I thought, I need to share this, and I feel like it was with the Divine Mother, and I feel like it's meant to be shared. I feel like she showed up in such a way that it was like, I'm here, not just, this ethereal being floating about. I'm here to help. So I'm really passionate about getting people, if they feel called to it, of course, if they want to, because that's the only way you'll do this, but to become more connected to the guides, to the divine, to become more connected to the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, to the Divine Mother, because I've seen in my own life how it has shifted to a life of more grace and ease than what I had before. And just briefly, if you've never come in contact with my work before, I'm an energy healer, I'm a sound healer, but I'm a musician. So I was a musician first, and through all of this period of time of working, I started to open up more deeply to different facets of spirituality. And anyway, ended up studying Reiki about, oh, how many years ago was that now? Probably 11 years ago. And starting to work with healing energy just around that time and after it. So, anyway, and then, of course, before then, receiving energy healing. And so I would say that in many ways, I am the poster child for what energy healing can do for a person, because I used to suffer from a great deal of anxiety. I would say about 13 years ago, there was a period in my life where I literally felt like someone was always stepping on my chest, like literally, like it was hard to breathe, and when you're a singer, that's a problem. And also, that fear extended to not just, the life that we can see, but I remember before that time, I would watch Montel Williams, that TV show he used to have, and on Fridays, he used to have medium Sylvia Brown on. And I remember at the time I was living in a house and I would have it on the TV because I had Fridays off. I was in graduate school at the time, and I would take that day to clean and kind of get my household organized. And I would without fail watch Sylvia Brown, but not because I thought it was cool or, oh, this is so interesting or I can relate. No, it was like complete and abject fear. I was just like, I was drawn to it, but I was incredibly scared at the same time. Like, and I'd be alone in my house and I'd be like, oh my God, I hope I never see anything. Like, I hope I never have an experience like that. I mean, talk about that being a prayer God didn't answer, because the complete opposite of that is my current reality. So, anyway, it's just funny how we're drawn to the things we're meant to experience, and we grow, and I was drawn to all the right places, including energy healing, but with incredible trepidation and fear and anxiety. So, anyway, I have had quite a journey and I've come a long, long way. Anyway, I'm sharing all of this with you because I just feel like maybe some of you can relate to being curious about spirituality, maybe wanting to get into deeper contact with your guides, but feeling afraid of what that might be like. And so that's a passion of mine. I feel really strongly to encourage people. And one of the things that I say the most to anyone who speaks to me about how to encourage along their intuition or their communication with their guides, and I just say, it's just like a conversation you'd really have with anyone. Like, if, say, you meet someone and you say, I don't know, for me, okay, say I meet a new person on the tennis court, because I'm a tennis nut. I love tennis. and I like this person. I might say, oh, hey, maybe we should get together to hit one day. Okay. And, you know, some days, you might meet someone who actually wants to do that. And some days you might find someone where there's some follow through, right? Which actually, that just happened to me recently. They led me to my new tennis coach. It's really cool. But nonetheless, like in the beginning stages of a friendship, like there might be a text here or there, and a text may evolve to a phone call, and then the phone call might evolve to hanging out. And you know what I mean? Like just like it is, but it's that like little effort, right? That we put in, that effort that we put in to stay in touch, to communicate. And so that is my advice. If you want to get into deeper touch and get more help from your guides, but also just be more in communion with them and your higher self, your archangels, everybody, like just talk, just maybe write notes, like be in touch. And so I just think that just a consistent effort. It doesn't have to be anything like super sophisticated. And then when you get an insight or there's a sign that shows up in a particular way, and you know your signs when you see them, you know them. The problem is that you doubt them, right? You get a sign and you're like, that was weird. Oh, that can't be right. You know? But you know your signs. You know what to do, right? You have that inner guidance system within. Your guides are getting through to you. Your higher self is getting through to you. You know. But very often we doubt. All right, well, I'm going to give you an example of something that I could have totally just brushed off, but I did not because now I know better. If you've been following my work for a little bit, you may know that I have a cat. He is a black cat, which feels very appropriate because of my line of work. Anyway, Emerald is his name, and he is special, and I know that all cat people would say that their cat is special, but the reason I say that he's special is because he turns people who do not normally like cats into cat people. He did it to my mother. Like, he draws affection from people so easily. It's really something. And for a cat, he's very interactive. And actually, I think that his clairvoyant skills far exceed mine because he is often looking just over my shoulder, like not right. When a cat's looking right at you, but he's just looking right above you. And it's like, okay, who's visiting, Or he's staring at a certain part on the couch. And I'm like, do we have company? Yeah, we probably do. He can see it, and I can't always. So anyway, so this has to do with him. So my cat has a claw that grows very quickly and very thick. And it's really a challenge for me to stay on top of it. And when it grows too much, it curves around and it can hurt the pad underneath his claw. And that's always been a source of worry in the many years. I've had him for 11 years that, he has had this issue. And so I know I've had to be very on top of it all these years. But recently, I wasn't able to cut that claw. And I was really worried about it because I knew that I didn't want it to hurt him. But I would pick him up to do the thing and try to cut his nails, and he wouldn't let me, and I was really stressed out. This was all happening like through Christmas. So there was a certain point where I had the clippers out and I was just following him around with them, just trying to get the nail, I was having a really hard time. So anyway, of course, I was asking for help. I was like, please, I need help with this. I need help. Like, I don't know. I don't want him to hurt. Please help me. And I'm sure I was asking that of my guides. I don't recall saying the prayer to anyone in particular, although I know that in the past I've called on Jesus to help for healing for him, and St. Francis, who is very much associated with animals. But I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So anyway, one day he was sitting underneath my desk where I often work. I don't know why he likes to hang out there, but he does, by my feet. And I was like, what are you doing down there? How are you? And so I kind of got on the carpet and just kind of looked at him for a minute. And I was like, how you doing? And all of a sudden, I kid you not, the air that I was breathing all of a sudden was absolutely consumed with the scent of roses. Like, out of nowhere, roses. And I was like, hello? And it was really a sign, because in recent weeks, so during the Fabulous 5 program, which is my monthly healing program that I've been doing since September and only accepts 5 people each month, but consistently, week after week after week after week, the Divine Mother's presence is always there. And I have a certain way that I normally see her and know that she's there, and very often feel. It's a very... When the Divine Mother is around, it, to me, it is very humbling, and I actually want to talk about it, and I get emotional, because it hits you right here, hits you right in the heart, So anyway, in recent weeks, I've been reading a book that was recommended to me, and it's called The Way of the Rose, and it is by Clark Strand and Perdita Finn. And it has to do with the rosary, and the rosary being something from the Catholic tradition, which is how I was raised, but also, it just gives a history and all this that I wasn't aware of, and it tells this story about, I believe he was a Zen Buddhist monk, and how the rosary came into his life. And so I haven't even finished the whole book, but he talks a great deal about the significance of the rose. And so when I had this experience just a few days ago, I think it was Monday actually, just after Christmas, I was completely overwhelmed with the scent of roses. All right, and for those of you who are logical like me, because seriously, I am a person who really likes quantifiable results. I want to know that things are working, that, your healing is coming. I like results. Anyway, nonetheless, okay, there were no candles burning in my home at the time. I was not wearing perfume. I don't have any plugins that are scented with rose. Actually, the only thing I don't have roses in my house at the moment. I have rose quartz crystals, but those don't put out a smell. The roses came out of nowhere. And so I believe that's called clairgustance, right? You receive guidance or message through the sense of smell. So anyway, it was very present, and I had to know this was the Divine Mother coming to lend her assistance. It was very interesting also. In the week prior, just a few days before, I had done a reading for my Fabulous 5 group. And the readings are supposed to be for them. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be for the people that are in the group, not for me, So but anyway, in this case, it really spoke to me too, because one of the cards, I got 2 cards, and it was funny because it made sense, because I did the reading for that group the day before Christmas. No, wait, it was Christmas Eve, because they had their healing on the night before, on the 23rd, and then I was filming their video on the 24th. And so I did a fairy oracle card reading for them, and the last 2 cards were sun, and then the next card was pregnancy. And so it was really interesting, because later I was like, of course, it's Christmas Eve, Jesus and Mother Mary. And so I got these 2, and I thought, what an interesting thing, that came up. But the card sun is, a boy in your life, or a child in your life needs assistance, or could use your help, or something like this. And then there was the mother figure, the pregnancy card, but it's a woman and she's pregnant, and that was really interesting. So later, when I was having this issue with my cat and the Divine Mother showed up, I thought to myself, that's hilarious, because it was in the oracle cards in their reading just a few days before. So anyway, moments after having the experience of smelling the roses, I was able to actually pick up my cat and I was able to cut the nail. And it was just like, he just let me and it just worked. Now, I was a bit nervous though, because when I cut it, there was some blood and I had to clean him up and take care of it really fast. And I ended up, here's another miracle, I ended up calling the vet for them to come just to take him and check him and make sure he's okay and everything, because I wasn't sure why he's bleeding. And so it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a lot, but enough to, I mean, at all. You're just like, ah, you know. So I took him. They said, oh, we're gonna have to work you in, but please do come in. I said, okay. Put him in his bag, his cat carrier, soft carrier. He didn't give me a hard time. Also a miracle. Anyway, he's usually pretty good about that, but it was easy. Got him to the vet and they said, look, you know, you may have to wait. We're just, gonna work you in. Okay. They take the cat in now. Since COVID, you can't go in with him. I was in and out of there like under an hour. I was completely shocked. They looked him over. Everything is fine. Like, it's all good. And I just thought to myself, this whole thing, even though it is like a small detail in my, well, he's not a small detail in my life. He's a big deal in my life. But even with something as basic as, taking care of your animal and this need of dealing with his claw, and it was hard to, anyway, I had divine assistance with something like this, and in such a beautiful way of like, do it now, like I'm here to support you, and so I'm telling you all of this, sharing my little cat drama with you, because if you're watching this, you may have your own challenges in your life. You may have things that are bothering you right now. You might have, I know a lot of people are experiencing difficulties with their health, right? Because of what we're all enduring in the world right now. They may be experiencing difficulties with employment, finances, hardships like this. Maybe there's family harmony difficulties. Maybe there's difficulties with friends. You never know. Like, people, there are challenges, right? All I'm saying is that you don't have to handle anything on your own. You don't have to handle it on your own, because you have help. You have help at your disposal. And I promise you, the minute you start to engage it more and more, you're going to see how things shift. They will just shift. Another example, briefly. I was looking into working with someone I felt like I could learn a great deal from, and that is probably true. But when I when I found out how much it cost, I was like, whoa, okay. So I like to write things down in my planner. That's where I like my planner, but I like to write things down, and I like to write prayers down, because requests for help down, because it assists me in seeing how things get resolved or taken care of. So once I spoke with this person that I was curious about working with, I wrote down my request and I said, all right, Spirit, if this is the way you'd like me to go, if you think this is the right thing for me to do, then, make it obvious. And by yesterday evening, I had an alternative, which is so much more accessible. I just happened to mention to my friend what I was about to do, and she said, have you heard of this? And I went, no. So today I took action with that, and it's like, okay, this is much more easy. I'm going to get the information I need without, spending tons and tons of money. So I was very grateful for that that assistance, because that guidance, it was just right there, So anyway, all that to say, maybe you've already done all of this, maybe you already know, but maybe there's some of you out there that will watch this video and get some encouragement from it. And trust me, when it comes to working with your angels and guides and the archangels and the Divine Mother and the Ascended Masters with Spirit, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. Now, Will they sometimes give you guidance that you don't like? Yeah. You know, I've been there. Sometimes the guidance, you're not going to agree with it. It's not going to be what you want to hear. But like a good friend, Spirit is going to tell you what is right for you, not what you want to hear. So, as best as possible, and this was a hard lesson for me that I been getting better at. But if you ask for guidance, be open to what you may receive, because it may not always be exactly what you were hoping, you know? So, hey, and sometimes it's better. Sometimes something is better than you were hoping, but sometimes if, you know, an opportunity or a situation is not right for you, they will unabashedly tell you, and you're not going to like that because it's not what you wanted. But that's the thing. The more you develop that relationship with Spirit, with your guides, with the angels, you'll know that nobody on this planet has your back better than they do. They have your back better than anyone in human form. So ask for your highest and best guidance always. Highest and best, and be open and learn to trust. It's like one little step at a time, just to learn to trust. And that has certainly been true for me, because like I said earlier in this video, I came from a place of fear. I came from a place of fear. Now, I'll be honest with you. There was a moment, I would say about 3 months ago, where I was up late. I don't even remember anymore what I was praying about. Like, I don't know. It seemed important at the time. But I was in my bed and I was sitting up and I was praying. And sometimes Spirit, it seems kind of silly that I don't remember what I was praying about, because I got a really vivid response. But I was praying about something. And sometimes if I'm speaking, I'll see little sparkles of light where they kind of are affirming what I've just said. And then I'm like, oh, okay, they approve, thank you. And this particular night, I was praying and I said something, and all of a sudden, it was as if someone was shining the most gigantic flashlight. Like, I can't even show you how big within the confines of this video, but shining a humongous, like it was like a enormous light that shone in my bedroom. And it was as if someone were standing outside of my window through the wood blinds, shining an intense light. Now, even if someone were, because trust me, I thought about this, was someone standing outside my window with a flashlight and shining in? No, it was too big. It's like, you know those skylights that shine like the light up in the sky? It would have to be one of those actual physical skylights. That's how big the light was, and it was really bright. It was like blindingly white yellow. It was like, whew. Anyway, that scared me. And not only did it happen once, it happened twice. And I literally said, okay, I'm really sorry, but I'm not exactly ready for that yet. I lived and I knew it wasn't her. I mean, I knew it was the angels, but it was like, whoa, that was a lot. So anyway, but I say that, you know, because it caught me by surprise. Like, I wasn't expecting that. But they were letting me know whatever I was praying about, I was on the right track. So I'm not saying that if you're new to this exploration of talking to your angels and guides that you should expect incredible light shining in your face, or, you know, anything crazy, but they know you. Your angels, your guides, Spirit know you. They know you in depth. They know how you think. And they know how to get through to you in a way that you can accept and work with. And little by little by little, they'll, be a little bit more obvious maybe. Watch out for feathers, watch out for recurring songs, watch out for recurring numbers. They'll find a great way. Sometimes someone will just say something to you and it'll click and be like, oh yeah, but anyway, aside from there's a little surprise here and there, there's nothing to fear when connecting more deeply with your angels and guides. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you today. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you want to learn more about my work, you can connect with me at lovelightvoice.com. And really, the best way to keep up with what I'm doing within my Love Light Voice community is through my email list. Sign up for my email list. Because I'm on Instagram and I do post to YouTube, but I feel like most of my thoughts and things come through my email list. So if you're interested in that, please do sign up. And also, just one last thing, I do a monthly healing program. I changed the date and time to Tuesday nights Eastern at 9 p.m., but I accept 5 people. It's called the Fabulous 5 Healing Program. I accept 5 people on the program, and that's it. Now, I don't have 5 spots left, okay? I just have a couple spots left. But the healing program starts on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And what you'll do is you'll receive, on the 4 Tuesday nights in January, 60 minutes of distance healing. And that's a group, so it's a small group. You individually, you'll receive your own personal oracle card reading from me, and it'll be delivered by video. So there's a little bit of a mix there between individual work with me and group work. After each healing session, you'll get a video with a healing report and any additional guidance that comes through from Spirit for the group. And since it's such a small group, I think that the healing, but then also the information that comes through will be more pertinent to your life situation than if it's like a larger group that, like when I do my coming soon new moon and full moon healings, where I just did a winter solstice healing where it's like a larger group. So anyway, it might be a bit more tailored to your specific need. And then also, depending on what Spirit asks me to do, because I pay attention, on different weeks, there may be a channeled message, there could be a sound healing that you get sent, there could be an additional oracle card reading for the group. One time, Spirit had me make a graphic. It was wild. It was all animal totems, and for each chakra that I was working on for the group, all these animals just kept showing up. So I started writing them down just to be able to remember, and then I made this graphic to send to everyone, and it was their homework to get in touch with those animals, see who they were called to, and work with those energies. That was really cool. So anyway, this opportunity is coming up now. The first healing session is Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link below, or you can find it under healing packages on my website, lovelightvoice.com. Anyway, hope you are having an amazing first day of the year. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings, and I'll talk to you in my next video. All right, bye.